The balcony, Phir Wahi Raat. The spirit of her insane auntie haunts Asha. During a party, she sees her spirit and blacks out. When a stretcher is carrying her out from the house, she gets back to her senses only to have a look at the balcony. The ghost of her auntie stands there, a low light on her face, eyes wide open, a cunning smile and a cut mark on her face. The library sequence, Shapit. Professor Pashupati, played by Rahul Dev, thinks that Aman, played by Aditya Narayan, is not strong enough to fight the spirit which has put a curse on his girlfriend. To prove his strength, Aman takes up the task of bringing out the spirit caught in a book. The spirit is of a girl who died in the library by hanging herself. The book is kept in the same library, which is guarded by an evil spirit, who never allows the spirit of the girl to go out. Aman goes there, fights the evil spirit and brings out the book with the spirit inside it. This 5-minute sequence is one of the best in Indian horror films, chilling, tight, with very scary visuals. The bedroom scene, Bhool Bhulaiya. Although this Indian horror was mostly considered a comedy, it does have some very notable moments. From the very beginning, the film builds up suspense very well. Vidya Balan is obsessed with the character of Manjulika, who is supposed to be a princess who lived earlier in the same palace. Even after lots of twists and turns, Shiny Ahuja, the husband, denies her obsession. Akshay Kumar advised him to provoke her to bring out the secret behind her delusion. In the scene when Shiny Ahuja prohibits Vidya from visiting a certain place, she suddenly changes entirely. Her voice is different, she speaks like Manjulika, her eyes widened, and in a moment she picks up the bed by using just one hand. This scene is considered one of the most shocking scenes in Indian horror films. The corpse who follows Anjali, Do Gaz Zameen Ke Niche. Anjali kills her paralyzed husband for his wealth. Her boyfriend Anand helps her in poisoning and burying the dead body 2 yards below the land. Their happiness doesn't last long as Anjali starts hearing strange noises and witnesses paranormal events in her deceased husband's home. One night, when she is sleeping, the same noises occur again, so she goes out holding a candle in her hand to take a look. The candle blows out because of the wind, so she comes back inside to light it again. Inside there is absolute darkness, and in a corner Anjali is seen lighting the candle. As soon as the candle is lit, we see a corpse of her husband standing right behind her, but she can't see him as she has her back towards him. She starts walking towards the room and the dead body of her husband follows her. This 1972 classic horror is one of the earliest horrors in Indian cinema, which rocked the box office and was loved by all horror fans. When Sangha goes to the temple, Purana Mandir. Hypnotized by demon Samri, the servant of the palace Sangha pulls out the box that contains Samri's head from the basement. He is spellbound and is given the duty of taking the box with the head to the old temple, Purana Mandir, where the rest of Samri's body is buried. Once the head meets the body, the devil will be reborn. Riding on a horse cart, Sangha's eyes are all white and he is driving the cart like a crazy person. Monish Bal and Puneet Isar chase to stop him. The Cinema Hall, Raat. This Indian horror film directed by Ram Gopal Verma is considered a milestone. In this particular scene, the protagonist, Revati, is watching a film with her friends in a cinema hall. The film running on the screen is a comedy and everyone is laughing. Suddenly, Revati realizes that she's alone in the hall. The camera goes back and we see that the whole hall is empty. No film is running on the screen. She gets scared and comes out to the lobby, which is deserted too. She looks out from the window to find the parking lot also empty. She tries to come out from the theatre, but all the doors are locked. She is running helplessly all around, but not a single living being is there. Finally, she sees someone sitting in a cabin. She goes inside slowly. The person on the chair has its back towards the audience. Revati waits. She is shivering. She slowly gathers some courage and moves the chair to find that it is herself sitting on that chair. The scene cuts back to the hall where all the friends are laughing, and then she realizes it was just a bad dream. Brilliant use of Steadicam, superb shot taking and marvellous acting by the lead actress. The mirror scene, Raz. Sanjana, played by Bipasha Basu, has no clue why repeated paranormal occurrences are happening in her house. While sleeping, she hears the screaming sound of a woman. She goes out to check. Everything outside is dark. Sanjana is afraid and shivering. Then in front of a huge mirror, she sees her reflection. But she's not alone. On the other side of the mirror, a figure appears. A woman soaked in blood. She looks angrily, pointing her finger in Sanjana's direction. The Lift, Darna Mana Hai. This short horror from Indian horror anthology film Darna Mana Hai had an excellent plot with a twisted ending. A car driver gives a man a lift while passing a graveyard. He gets scared when the man reveals himself as a ghost, and when the car driver asks him to leave his car, he was told that it was a prank and he was made a bakra, like an MTV bakra. The car driver removes his shades, showing his eyes, which are hollow, depicting that the car driver in fact was a real ghost. The prankster dies in shock on the very spot. Vivek Oberoi and Nana Patekar give terrific performances in this short horror directed by Praval Raman. When Lisa talks to the doctor, 1920. After getting possessed by the ghost of the mansion she was living in, Lisa is stuck to her bed. Her husband is worried and so calls the father of the nearby church, who is also experiencing unusual things. While the father wants an exorcism, a doctor believes she must be hospitalized. In the hospital, Lisa becomes violent. She becomes so powerful that no one is able to control her. When the doctor decides to sedate her, she gets back to normal before he can even give her the second dose. She calls the doctor by his nickname despite just arriving in the city a few days ago and having absolutely no connection with the doctor. She then goes ahead and tells the doctor about his mother and his illicit relationships. An extreme shock for the doctor and so the audiences. The staircase scene, Bhoot. After shifting to a new flat with her husband, Swati, played by Urmila Matondkar, continuously finds the place quite unnerving. We see so many sequences where she is witnessing strange noises. 12 minutes into the film, Swati wakes up in the night. She goes downstairs in her duplex to take water from the kitchen. While she's coming back, the camera is on the stairs. We see Swati coming towards the camera and filling the frame, and just as she passes by to the right of the camera, we suddenly see a woman at the bottom of the stairs looking at us. Dark eyes and a black dress. That is the ghost of Manjeet, which will haunt Swati for the rest of the film.